When President Obama a week and a half ago asked Congress to debate the prospect of a U.S. military strike in Syria, it scrambled expectations for what was going to happen on the Syria issue, but it also scrambled things for Congress. I mean, everybody had expected that by now we'd be in another one of those Groundhog Day pointless fights about defaulting on our debt on purpose or shutting down the government on purpose. And those things may yet happen, but they haven't happened yet. The prospect of voting on Syria eventually got put on hold, and you can now see Congress, particularly in the House, trying to get their groove back, trying to remember what it is they were supposed to be working on before they lost focus. Today, in addition to some new noise from House Republicans about maybe getting back to that government shutdown idea, you also got the 41st vote in the House on repealing Obamacare. 41 times they've cast these votes now. It's never had any practical effect, and it never will. But if it wasn't fun enough 40 times, maybe 41 will be the charm. Congressman John Dingell, take it from here.
Here we go again. Time in the House is being wasted. The business of the nation is being obfuscated. The Republicans have got more nonsense to put on the floor.
Ta-da! But while the House goes through this process of remembering what it is that it wants to waste time on, remembering what futile symbolic action it wants to take instead of actually making policy, Congress does actually have kind of a significant to-do list of substantive stuff that, for some reason, they feel no urgency about. It feels like ancient history now, but it's almost impossible to believe that it happened. But at the beginning of the summer, the United States Senate actually passed comprehensive immigration reform. That happened this year on June 27th. And we all remember from civics class that bills are supposed to start in the House and go to the Senate, but on immigration reform, they did it backwards. John Boehner said he wanted the Senate to go first, saying the House would go after the Senate did. But the Senate's long done now, and the House is just doing nothing, pretending it never happened. The House has taken no action, and nobody knows when or if they are ever going to. And because of that, today in Washington, this happened. Roughly 200 women flooding the streets outside the intersection of Independence Avenue, which runs between the Capitol and the offices of members of the House, some of them wearing white armbands and red T-shirts that said Women for Fair Immigration Reform. They marched and congregated in the middle of the intersection where they sat down in a circle holding hands, cars around them and the police nearby ready to charge in. The women were chanting, "Yes, we can, si se puede." This is a group of women from We Belong Together, and they blockaded this intersection outside Congress to protest the House's inaction on immigration reform. They sat in the middle of the street, chanting, calling for action on immigration reform, and then the police started making arrests, a ton of them. More than 100 women were arrested in Washington today. The police handcuffed them all and loaded them into vans. As you can see, it was a big operation to get all of these people arrested. It was a peaceful situation, though. The reason it was all women who were arrested today is because the activists are trying to highlight the fact that it's women and children who make up 3/4 of the immigrants in the United States. And until we fix this broken immigration system that we have, women and children are the ones who will continue to suffer the most. The idea of fixing our broken system is not an esoteric thing. It's not a big, inchoate idea. A bill has passed the Senate. It even got 14 Republican senators to vote in favor of it. The Senate acted. But in the Republican-controlled House, so far, they're just refusing to even bring it up. See, there's no time, right? First of all, there's lots of vacations. They had a vacation earlier this month. They just got back. They've got another vacation scheduled later this month. And they've only voted 41 times so far to repeal Obamacare. So really, there's no time to get to other stuff like this. We will see how long that stance is sustainable. Now it's time for the last word with Lawrence O'Donnell. Thanks for being with us tonight. Have a good one.
Before President Obama threatened military action against Syria, there were